Okay, how to beat Hydro Abyss Herald. So we're going to be using Geo Traveler for the majority of the fight, and then we're going to swap over to Kaya. I'll explain why later. Anyways, as you can see here, our gear is not really amazing, okay? We do have a couple 5 stars on here. Don't get nervous. All the gear is just so you don't spend 7 years watching me fight him, okay? The stats don't make the boss less or more possible. Anyways, we are going to be using Constellation 2 here, right? Because that's important on Geo Traveler. We're going to be using Amber because of the double pyro bonus, which gives us a flat 25% attack bonus, right? And here's Kaya. So Kaya, don't worry about his weapon. He does have a 4-star weapon on. That's just to give him ulti more. You're not really going to be using him for anything other than the last phase, and I'll explain why later. Anyways, Xiangling doesn't have any gear for the double pyro. Anyways, take a look at our artifacts. Let's get into the fight. Okay, so we have Hydro Abyss Herald here. I'm just going to go ahead and start off with a little bit of ad clear. But basically, this fight is really, really, really easy. Okay, I would say it's probably one of the easiest fights in the game. There's not really a whole lot that you really need to worry about when you're fighting him. You know, maybe if you're fighting him in Abyss, it's a different story. But if you're just trying to beat him in general, you don't have to worry. He's not too hard. You know, Abyss has a lot of other things that you have to worry about, but for the most part, if you're just fighting him solo, you can just dodge to the side. And if you just don't want to get hit in Abyss, you know, it's okay. Just dodge to the side too. It's not that big of a deal. The Abyss arena is really not that small at all. If you're fighting more than one, you know, maybe it'll get a little hectic, but you can always just dodge to the side. There's really not too much that this guy really has to offer. Right, he just does a lot of damage if he does manage to hit you, but you really shouldn't be getting hit because his attacks are really linear. So all we're going to do here is we're just going to place rocks underneath him, right, and just call it a day. If you're just trying to push Abyss, you can use this method as well. It's not really that big of a deal. He's going to go ahead and start adding extensions to his attacks to lower his HP gets. It's not too big of a deal. But the most important part of this fight, and this is what I'm going to talk about next, is that he has a final phase, right? And so when he is in his final phase, once he hits around 25% HP, he's going to go ahead and get a big Hydro Shield, right? And you're going to have to try and get rid of that. He will die instantly the second that his shield is gone. So when he transforms, he's going to charge up and explode, right? And then he gets this big Hydro Shield. So that's why we have Kaya, because Kaya does a lot of damage to Hydro Shields. And he's also Cryo, so he freezes. So we're going to sit here and we're just going to harass him with Kaya. Right? That's all we need to do. My Kaya doesn't really have any gear. You don't have to worry about the 4-star weapon. It doesn't really serve him any good because stats don't matter when you're breaking shield. Right? So we're just going to hit him with the rock. We're going to hit him with the freeze. And that's pretty much it. It's really nice and easy. I would argue that the second part of the fight is easier than the first, because it's very safe. If you're in danger of anything, you can literally just freeze him to prevent him from doing anything, so you can have a little bit of time to take a break and, you know, get your bearings. Right? So anyways, anything that he can do in this second phase is exactly the same as the first, except he has a couple, like, you know, bells and whistles that are also all solved by the problem of just moving to the side. It's really that simple. Hit him with another elemental skill. We're going to grab 2 shields, put another thing down, back off from that. The explosion is really not that big, so you don't have to worry that much. Just dodge to the side again. But yeah. Anyways, we're going to hit him with the rock. And yeah, easy.